was astonished. They're the sort of things that happen to other people, not me. Well, the two main reactions was pride and humility.
Graeme was into development of people long before the AFL in the general sense got into it. He was doing stuff that the AFL didn't pick up and run with for another 10 years. And he's kept it going since, and now in a voluntary capacity. He was a key player in the Man in White, and we're now writing another book of the association's involvement in country football over 80 years and the amount of work he's done for that. But just the number of subcommittees and other groups that he works with and advises, as he is, if ever there has been a man who has just devoted his life to umpire, Graeme Patterson. And I think, Graeme, that you can be very, very proud.
Well, you had to be a leader. You had to deal with people, communication. You could be dealing with, after the game in the local pub, anything from the league president, shire president, some player who was complaining because he didn't get a free kick, to the local town drunk, and you had to manage all that. And the other thing I was always strong on is that you had to keep yourself nice, you know, like a beer, but you had to be in control of yourself. In 1972 I was responsible for drawing up the revised constitution. As president, it was quite clearly it was leadership. Two other things that happened when I was secretary in 1973, we had the grand final tickets issue, which we won, and in 76 as president we had the Richmond dispute. And both of those we run on matters of principle. Well, I think that it helps you understand all aspects of umpiring. It gives you an opportunity to help umpires improve their performance, and you do get satisfaction when those umpires achieve success. As Umpire's Development Officer, I developed levels 1, 2 and 3, and they became the model for the national scheme. I developed an advisors course, which at that time all advisors throughout Victoria eventually did. So I believe I had an opportunity to direct people in a particular line, and one of the starting points, if we were going to improve umpiring, we had to coach the coaches. We had to change the culture from lecturing to coaching, and a whole range of skills involved with that. And I believe that overall I changed attitudes and behaviours. The fundamental one is the development of the 1, 2 and 3 umpire system. In 1976 they introduced the 2 umpire system, which you had to because of the speed of the game, and I think that grew out of the 1972 grand final where they kicked 50 goals. And I still think that was the best era. It's the key 3 things in my view, the fundamentals of umpiring, and they are having a game plan, so you know what you're doing, that you in position, can't see, can't pay, and that you operate according to the spirit of the law rather than the letter of the law, which means that you've got a feel for the game. If you haven't got a feel for the game, well, you're just a technician, and that's not umpiring. When I was on the reserve grade in 1965, I umpired the second semi-final of the under-19s. I was training supervisor. The training that I devised was different. It was designed to train field umpires as field umpires, not just to become athletes. Another highlight of my umpiring was probably my second last year. In 1978 I did the Ballarat League Grand Final, which was normally done by city umpires. It was a great grand final and I just had one of those days out. The one was probably the most contentious is moving from a social organisation to a professional organisation, and that was And that happened long after I'd gone, but I think the beginnings of it were during my time on the executive. Well, I think fundamental is just love of football and umpiring. Various roles I've had, there's been constant challenges. So that just keeps you interested and involved. And I think just an overall desire to be part of all elements of the umpiring environment.